Any adventure that begins on a boat already has a layer of thrill attached, but how much thrill do you need? Where I'm headed is pretty much the last stop before Antarctica, home to tiger snakes and huge birds of prey that capture their kill and rip it into bloodied hunks. Should I survive that, a night in a tent awaits, a nail-biting night at that. They call it off-the-grid camping. I guess I should have left the hairdryer at home. This is what's known as one of the great walks of Tasmania. Allow me to be the judge of that.
Just a short jaunt across the Derwent from Hobart's harbour lies the wild terrain of Bruny Island. The close proximity to Hobart means most people do the journey as a day trip, but the Bruny Island long weekend tour allows a far more leisurely exploration of the island, with 2 nights and 3 days of adventure.
And we're arriving at the thumping metropolis.
Yeah, that's right. Well, from the thriving metropolis of downtown Hobart, the sleepy little Bruny.
Yeah, it's sleepy, isn't it?
From the air, Bruny appears to be 2 separate islands with north and south connected by a narrow strip of land known as the Neck. And while it's one of the most photographed spots on the island, the beauty of this tour is that it takes us to some of Bruny's lesser-known gems.
It's so rare for a kind of city slicker like myself to see a totally deserted beach.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
That is really fabulous, isn't it?
It's a diverse and visually delightful mix of landscapes and scenery, just the right amount of eye candy to take the focus off fitness.
What's the longest in terms of kilometres that you do in a day?
Well, we don't tell people, but one of the particular walks we do is about 17k.
Right,
Yeah.
which is still fairly manageable.
It is, yeah.
Not demanding.
No, not really. We're out there for maybe 6 hours. We have a good hour for lunch and
Yeah.
maybe a swim if it's a hot day. Yeah.
Over the 3 days, the tour gives travellers all the highlights of this incredible island: the coastline, the bush, and even rainforest.
Can you tell the age of any of these?
Well, they say the individual fern itself, they can be hundreds of years old, but as a species, they're extremely ancient. I always feel like I'm in a scene out of Jurassic Park here, expecting a velociraptor to go moving through. And this is a Dixonia antarctica, so there's fossilised evidence of these existing in Antarctica.
Really?
All these trees around us, the myrtles and things, you find these in South America, New Zealand. So from the time the dinosaurs were roaming, when we were all joined together as the great landmass of Gondwana.
If ever there were 2 words destined never to go together, it'd be close and remote, but that's exactly what we've got here. We're within an hour of Hobart, but right in the heart of this thick, dense rainforest, the core of isolation, and only a couple of 100 metres away is a really desolate beach. It's brilliant. It's a new breed of adventure tourism, close, remote.
It's not just the pristine environment that earns Bruny so much praise, but its plentiful local produce as well.
So it's the cleanliness of the water that is behind the produce on the island, pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much. And I think the temperature's pretty important as well. You want it to be fairly cool water to be growing these oysters.
This pit stop at a local oyster farm is all part of the experience.
Oh, wow. That's about the cleanest, freshest you'll ever get an oyster. I mean, it's quite salty.
It is, yeah.
You know, I'm not used to it being that salty, but I like the saltiness of it.
Yeah.
And so that's just the seawater, is it?
It probably gives you a thirst, does it? You probably need, feeling you need something to wash it down.
Chardonnay,
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
Here on Bruny, a good drop is easy to find, and Rob and his team pride themselves on providing a full culinary experience. But for me, camping generally poses one vital dilemma.
Really, all you want after a fabulous day is a fabulous night's sleep, but a fabulous night's sleep in a tent, well, that's an oxymoron. Why is that so hard? Why can't you put a king-size bed in a tent? A king-size bed with crisp, clean, fresh white sheets and a doona with a zillion, billion Egyptian cotton thread count, all plush and satiny and silken. Why is that so hard? Oh, yeah.
Crisis averted. This is exactly what you dream of after a day on your feet. A night in luxury. the kind of luxury that only Mother Nature can afford you.
My goal from the outset was to have as fewer barriers between people and nature as possible while still being comfortable. So we've got all the basics taken care of. It's a comfy bed, it's a hot shower, it's good food. I think people realise that you actually don't need much more than that, and I think that's a tremendous realisation for a lot of people these days.
This walk is so typical of the tourism cool that Tasmania is becoming renowned for. It's beautifully light on the earth. It's subtle, it's relaxed, but it's fabulously refined. The emphasis here is about what Mother Nature provides, but which is harnessed by this great understated Tasmanian class. It's all about unbelievable beauty, fabulous flavour, all wrapped up in great Tasmanian style. And yes, that's a thing. Nobody does this kind of thing, quite like they do it down here. And really, nobody does this any better.